Thick brown sludge erupts and soaks Amale Zuri's face. The puddle explodes as a jet-black SUV roars through the pothole outside Zulimba Central Market. Plantain chips scatter like confetti, salt water skimming across cardboard trays. Vendors gasp, customers leap backward, phones whip into the air. Tinted glass slides down. Celine Kafaru leans out, cobalt scarf pristine, rose gold earpiece blinking. Her voice cuts through honking taxis. Watch where you hawk, girl. I'm late. Mud drips from Amale's chin onto her faded yellow shirt. She wipes her eyes, hands shaking, then flicks a clump back toward the SUV door. Road belongs to more than engines, madam. The street goes quiet for half a heartbeat. A boda rider whistles. Someone mutters, "Aish, brave child." Celine's eyebrow arches. The SUV idles, engine rumbling like caged thunder. A phone screen reflects in her sunglasses, camera light blinking red. She clocks it, scoffs, and presses the window button. Glass rises. Tires screech. Dirty water sprays a second time, blasting Amale's skirt as the car fishtails away. Laughter mixes with outrage. 3 teenagers replay the clip already. One shouts, #mudslap. Another zooms for a freeze frame of Celine's smirk. The video loops, pixelated droplets hanging mid-air. Amale stoops, gathers soggy chips. Oil and mud mix into a slimy paste. She bites her lip, stacks what can be saved onto a fresh sheet of brown paper. A straw hat vendor nudges her elbow, offers a rag. She nods thanks, wipes her tray, stands straighter. Across the road, Lindy Dogo emerges from a tuk-tuk. Neon braids blazing sunset orange. She spots the clump of onlookers, phone already tilting horizontal. "What happened?" she whispers, framing the market stalls. The boda rider gestures toward the retreating SUV still visible at the junction. Lindy catches the last 3 digits of the plate, mouth curling. "Fam, that's premium content." She thumbs record, flips to selfie view. Behind her, Amale lifts her tray to display the ruined chips. Mud drips from the edge like slow syrup. A perfect backdrop. Lindy hits upload. Traffic swells again. Minibus conductors holler routes. Rain clouds bruise the afternoon sky, but phones stay pointed at Amale. She cracks a half smile, raises 2 fingers, and lets one word fly. Splashy. The crowd bursts into mixed cheers and chuckles. Someone hands her a towel. Another passes a fresh bottle of water. Bits of kindness splice with roaming cameras. 20 meters down, a street drummer picks up tempo, tapping plastic buckets. His rhythm bounces off corrugated roofs, syncing with notification pings around him. In a corner of the market, Gogo Sifa leans on her bamboo cane, watching. She lifts a pot lid, steam fogging her glasses, then motions Amale over. The girl jogs, tray balanced with practiced ease despite the stain. Inside the tiny eatery, Gogo swipes mud from Amale's cheek with a damp cloth. "Child, rain beats all roofs," she says, voice low. But clouds move. Amale snorts, half laugh, half snort. "This one moved fast, Gogo." They share a grin. Gogo dishes porridge into a tin cup, presses it into Amale's hand. "Eat, then sell the rest." Mud dries. Back outside, Lindy films street reaction clips. Kiosk owner ranting about reckless drivers. Student laughing over slow-motion replay. Boda rider reenacting the splash with a water bottle. "Don't forget to tag Darar Mud Splash Challenge," he shouts, hosing a friend for effect. Cheers erupt. Lindy's subscriber count ticks upward. She cross-posts to every platform, slams in the caption, "Rich Madam drowns vendor in mud. Watch her face when called out." By late afternoon, phones buzz across Zulimba. Office workers seethe in traffic, streaming the 30-second clip, shaking heads. On a bus, 2 teenagers argue whether the driver should be fined, not the passenger. A preschool teacher rewinds to catch the exact insult. Inside Kafaru Logistics HQ, glass walls shimmer with sunset glare. Celine strides through reception, security badge flashing, mud nowhere near her spotless heels. She signs for a courier envelope, never breaks stride, heads straight to the executive lift. Upstairs, assistants hover. One tries to mention a small video trend. Celine waves her silent order for coffee, door swinging shut behind her. Downstairs, the receptionist replays the clip. Her eyebrows rise. She nudges the guard beside her. The guard's jaw drops. Neither speaks. On the street, Amale angles her tray at passing cars, voice bright. "Hot chips, crispy, 500 shillings." Some customers buy out of sympathy, others for the story. Coins clink. Her fingers move fast, counting sliding change. The sun sinks. Generator hums merge with evening prayer calls. Vendors ignite kerosene lamps, their yellow glow bouncing on puddles that still fill the crater Celine created. A black sedan stops at the curb. Window lowers. A suited man offers to buy every remaining chip bag. Amalie narrows her eyes, glances at the uniform driver. She shakes her head. "I sell to who'll eat," she says. The car pulls off. A hawker whistles approval. Word spreads. The mud girl turned down hush cash. Respect rises. Near the bus depot, Lindy edits a short reaction montage. Her laptop battery blinks red. She mouths a quick prayer, hits render, then slaps the upload button seconds before shutdown. She checks her phone. Views climbing. 10,000, 15, 20. Streetlights flicker alive. Motorcycles weave through traffic like fireflies. In Gogo's stall, the old radio crackles with evening news. No mention yet, but talk show call lines buzz about a mystery CEO splashing a vendor. Gogo shakes her head, ladles stew. Back in the market, a storm finally breaks. Rain hammers tin roofs. Vendors scramble plastic sheets over goods. Amalie stands under a patched umbrella, last bag of chips in hand, watching runoff swirl past the pothole. A boy steps into view, drenched but grinning. He hands her a phone, screen showing Lindy's latest post. The mud slap just passed 50,000 views in 2 hours. Amalie lets out a low whistle. The boy mimics the splash, both laughing under pounding rain. From a rooftop, Lindy films the storm, lens catching lightning behind the market sign. She pivots, capturing Amalie's laugh against the neon blur of passing bikes. A frame to anchor the thumbnail. Upload complete, she checks analytics. Subscriber surge, 1,002, 3. She bites her lip, eyes shining. Coach buses rumble toward the night routes. Conductors shout last calls. Amalie packs her tray, coins jingling, mud now dried into dark smears. She waves to neighboring vendors, splashes through shallow streams toward home. At the junction, a street lamp flickers. Celine's SUV idles beside the curb, unnoticed. Inside, Celine watches a silent loop of the clip on her tablet. Her jaw tightens each time the mud sprays. Lautering horns jolt her. She taps for comments, hashtags, laughing emojis, corporate handles tagged alongside her name. She exhales, long and thin, lips barely parted. The driver glances back. She raises a hand before he can speak. The loop runs again. Midnight closes in. Rain eases to drizzle, leaving streets gleaming like black glass. Market gates clang shut. A stray cat darts past upturned crates. On a narrow balcony above the depot, Lindy starts a live stream. Ring light reflects in her eyes. "Fam, our mud splash clip is exploding. If it crosses 100,000 before dawn, we roll part 2. Live chat scrolls. Rocket emojis, popcorn, calls for identity reveals. Lindy leans toward the mic, voice dropping to a hush. "And trust me, I know whose SUV that is. Screenshots never lie. So smash that share button. Morning's going to be messy." Thunder growls low, distant but hungry. A new wave of viewers joins the stream. The count ticking higher like a meter filling with gasoline. The feed cuts to black as her power bank dies. Silence claims the market, but notification tones keep chiming in pockets, apartments, night buses, all over Zulimba. A million eyes close for sleep, but the mud stays wet on their screens. Somewhere across town, Celine's phone buzzes a final late alert. The headline stabs neon against the dark cabin. Mud splash video hits 75,000 in 5 hours. Her fingers drum on leather. Engine revs. The SUV rolls into the wet road, headlights carving twin tunnels through steam. Behind her, the pothole waits, still deep, still full. A fresh flash of lightning splits the sky. Sunrise stains the Zulimba skyline pink as phones blare notification storms. The mud splash clip rockets past 100,000 before coffees finish brewing. 2 competing hashtags arm wrestle on every feed. Yansha Mud Queen must pay and street hustle drama. Reaction stitches flood timelines. Some mock Amala's lopsided smile, others praise her grit. On a rooftop, Lindy Dogo spins a fresh intro. Her neon braids swing like signal flags while traffic drones below. "Fam, welcome back. The SUV belongs to logistics tycoon Celine Kafaru." She points to a screen grab of the cobalt scarf. "Share this and watch the empire sweat." Shares explode. Comment threads snarl into arguments. Merch sellers print Mud Queen t-shirts by mid-morning. Across town, the mirrored lobby at Kafaru Logistics hums uneasy. Receptionists hush phones, eyeing executives sprinting toward lifts. Celine arrives through a private entrance, scarf perfectly pressed, but the security guard notices her pulse beating at her jawline. Toma Jong waits in the boardroom, sleeves rolled, peppermint bark clenched between teeth. He taps a news crawl on the wall display, mud splash video at 180K and climbing. Apologize. Full statement. Today, he says. Celine folds arms. I pay damages, it dies. Toma shoves a stack of printed comments across the table. Screenshots glow with threats of boycotts and vendor marches. Eyes are on you, not your bank transfers. Celine's eyebrow flicks. She nods just once toward her personal assistant. The assistant hurries out. Downtown, vendors open umbrellas against a sudden shower. Amali wipes rain dots from her newly crisp tray sign, Fresh Chips 500, and sets up near yesterday's crater, now ringed with caution tape. Passers-by snap selfies beside her, some tossing coins, others hurling insults learned from viral edits. A suited messenger reaches her, shoes already splattered. He offers a slim envelope sealed with a Navy K monogram. From Madame Kafaru. Goodwill contribution. Amali's grip tightens on the tray edge. She peels the flap, glimpses thick bills, then presses the envelope back into the man's palm. Tell her Goodwill doesn't come in plastic sleeves. The messenger hesitates, rain tapping his briefcase, then retreats toward a waiting sedan. Boda riders cheer. One shouts, "Mud Queen can't buy the street!" Phones hover, capturing every angle. Inside a black SUV crawling through traffic, Baraka Nwoko studies electronic invitations for tonight's engagement shoot. His driver inches forward as demonstrators chant outside, waving signs of a stick figure splashing mud. Who's their target? Baraka asks. Driver shrugs, points at a billboard hacked with digital graffiti, Kafaru Akro Mud Queen. Baraka frowns, pockets the invitation, and calls Celine. It diverts to voicemail. At the logistics tower, Toma drafts a statement. Celine rejects line 3, replaces regret with concern, deletes any hint of apology. The PR team groans softly. Sudden ping, stock ticker drops 5 points in 10 minutes. Toma steps closer. Numbers hurt more than mud. Own it now or pay later. Celine flips her Bluetooth volume higher, ignores him, orders a car. She wants a direct talk with the vendor, minus cameras. Mid-afternoon, gray clouds split for hard sun. Lindy films a street pole outside the market. A mother of 2 shakes her head, says, "Money can't scrub pride." A college boy counters, "Vendor shouldn't stand in road if she can't dodge mud." Debate flares. Lindy's subscriber count flashes upward again. Back at Sifa's stir, steam rolls from pots. Go-Go Sifa slices onions, radio crackling. Talk show callers argue whether Celine's charity deliveries to orphanages cancel out one muddy splash. Go-Go snorts, sprinkles salt, stirs louder. Amelie enters, coins clinking. She drops a handful on the counter. Good morning, traffic. Bad morning, trolls. Go-Go hands her a wooden spoon. Stir stew, let words simmer by themselves. Across the city, a convoy from Zenith Telegrid pulls into Royal Meridian Hotel. Baraka steps out, greeted by event planners fussing over floral arches. He nods politely, still scanning phone alerts. A junior aide approaches, face pale. Sir, Zulimba Buzz wants comment on the Mud Queen video. Baraka blinks. What video? The aide plays the clip. Mud erupts. Celine's face flashes. Amali's tray spins across the screen. Baraka's gaze fixes on the wristband. The aide rewinds. Zoom shows colored beads spelling a faint pattern. Baraka coughs, pockets the phone. Later. Evening creeps in with sticky heat. Traffic lights malfunction at the main roundabout, causing gridlock. Horns layer into metallic chorus. Celine's car edges through, heading back toward the market. Protesters pound signs against her windows. She lowers glass 2 inches, rain of insults meeting chilled air from inside. I want to talk to the girl, she says to no one in particular. Police escort clears a narrow path, but vendors refuse entry, arms locked. The car reverses. Celine slams the armrest, driver's knuckles whitening on the wheel. Behind the blockade, Amali watches, face unreadable, hands still busy trading chips for coins. Toma's phone rings inside headquarters. Share price slide deepens. He chews peppermint bark to pulp, then shuts laptop. Time's up, he mutters. In a corner suite, Celine's assistant discovers an online petition. Cancel Kafaru contracts. 30,000 signatures already. He forwards it. Celine deletes the email unopened. Night neon flickers on. Lindy schedules a midnight premiere titled Mud Queen Money Fail. The teaser shows the rejected envelope landing back in the messenger's hand. Hotels across Zulimba fill with delegates for a telecom symposium. Baraka settles into a lounge sofa, finally viewing the full clip with sound. At the insult line, he exhales sharply. His thumb hovers, freezes at the bead wristband. He zooms again, heart rate visible in the vein at his temple. A host interrupts, asks if he needs champagne. He waves her off, eyes locked on the screen. Meanwhile, Amali counts final earnings, secures the day's cash in a zip pouch, and walks home under flickering streetlights. Shadows of camera flashes tail her until she turns onto a quiet lane. Only cicadas follow. Celine spends the evening drafting expansions of her logistics empire onto a tablet, pretending the universe outside glass walls does not roar. In a rare lapse, battery dies mid-edit. Dark screen stares back. Stock market alerts ping relentlessly, each chime sharper than the last. She silences the phone, rain tapping windows like impatient knuckles. At 10 p.m., a private jet from Abuja lands. Baraka's top aide greets him on tarmac, hands fresh reports. Investors nervous, political allies texting for clarity. Baraka offers no response, strides to the waiting sedan. The car cruises past digital billboards still looping the splash. One glitch freezes on Amali's face, mud-streaked like war paint. Baraka studies it until the screen swaps to an energy drink ad. Downtown, a pop-up vendor sells bracelets identical to Amali's beads. Teenagers buy them as protest gear. One live streams chanting, "Wear the wrist, crush the rich," #climbs. Inside Sifa's stir, Gogo locks shutters, hums a lullaby. She traces the empty spice tin where emergency cash once hid. She smiles, drops new coins in, lid clinks shut. Near midnight, Baraka reaches the hotel penthouse where Celine waits for final run-through of engagement shoot plans. He enters, removes jacket, places phone on the marble counter, screen still bright with paused video. Celine steps forward, forced smile, gestures toward floral samples. Baraka holds up a hand. "What's this Mud Queen nonsense everyone's tagging me in?" The question hangs between them like a live wire, crackling, about to snap. Celine flicks the hotel light switch, bathing the suite in gold. She picks up a wedding mood board, points to ivory roses. Baraka stays by the doorway, fingers tightening around his phone. "Answer me," he says, voice flat. "It's a minor street incident, already handled," Celine replies. She straightens the cobalt scarf, squares her shoulders. Baraka taps play. Mud erupts, the insult echoes. He zooms, pausing on Amali's wristband. Beads shimmer red, yellow, green, in a pattern his own hands once threaded for a newborn. Celine reaches for the device. Old clip. Internet exaggerates. Baraka steps aside. "We talk after the shoot." He pockets the phone, walks out before she can answer. Morning haze floats over the harbor as Baraka's chauffeur turns onto Depot Lane. Engines cough, vendors shout prices. The car stops beside Gogo Sifa's eatery. Baraka enters, bowing slightly. "Your food smells wonderful." Gogo nods, ladles cassava porridge. Steam curls between them. Amali chops plantain at the counter, humming her three-note tune. Baraka orders 2 bowls, slips off jacket, sits. His eyes follow the wristband while she plates portions. She places a bowl before him, beads tapping the rim. He offers a polite grin. "Best breakfast in Zulimba, people say." Amali laughs. "Then people have taste." A breeze pushes a loose strand of her hair across the table. Baraka reaches for napkins, hands one to her, keeps another. When she turns to fetch extra spoons, he folds the strand inside the napkin, slips it into an inner pocket. Coins clink, he pays double, waves off change, exits to the waiting sedan. At Zenith Labs across town, a technician accepts the sealed envelope. Baraka signs a rush form, leaves without a word. Clock starts. Day 1 crawls. Social feeds churn fresh edits of the splash set to dance beats. Kafaru stock tumbles another 3%. Celine scans financial sites, jaw rigid. Toma leans in, murmurs, "Press conference by Friday or we bleed." She types, deletes, types again, unable to find the first line. Outside, protesters chalk mud footprints across her office steps. Day 2. Gogo opens late, arthritis flares. Amali stirs stew, greeting customers with forced cheer. Fellow vendors huddle, whispering that selfies at her stall drag press who block footpaths. One vendor mutters loud enough, "Stargirl forgets old friends." Amali's spoon clangs against the pot. She serves in silence. Across the market, Lindy records vendors' complaints. She ends the clip, sighs, pockets the phone. A child wearing a bead bracelet tugs her sleeve, asks if Mud Queen will apologize. Lindy shrugs, gives the kid a free sticker. Inside a corner office, Celine's board gathers. Older directors demand crisis strategy. Younger ones warn of lost influencer deals. One chair slides a resignation letter across polished wood. Celine reads it, expression empty. By dusk, rain threatens again. Baraka sits in a hotel lounge, leather notebook open, pen idle. His phone remains dark. Day 3 dawns with searing sun. Twitter trends shift to a celebrity breakup. Mud Queen drops to second place. Celine exhales at the headline, thinks the tide turning. She orders pastries for staff as goodwill. Over in the lab, centrifuges whir. A technician prints a report, seals it in a yellow envelope marked confidential. Baraka's car pulls up 10 minutes later. He enters through a side door, signs for the envelope, steps into a vacant hallway. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Hand steady, he unseals the flap, slides out a single page. Bold print reads, parentage probability 99.8%. His breath catches, shoulders lift then drop once. He folds the paper, tucks it in his jacket, walks back outside. City heat sizzles off tarmac. He calls his driver. Depot lane, he says. Meanwhile, Amali juggles sales and side-eyes a reporter filming her again. She finishes a transaction, wipes sweat from her brow. Gogo waves her over, whispers a proverb about unexpected storms. Baraka's sedan stops near the stall. He steps out carrying a small woven box. Vendors recognize him from news segments, ripple of murmurs spreading. He stops before Amali, places the box on her tray. For you, he says. She hesitates, opens the lid. Inside lies a fresh wristband, same bead pattern, colors brighter. Crowd hushes. Baraka clears his throat. I once made one just like it. Amali's fingers brush the beads, confusion flickering across her features. She looks up, meets his gaze. Baraka extends a hand but doesn't speak further. He turns toward the car, pauses, checks the time. Tomorrow night, Seafront Gala. Please come. He hands a card, steps into the sedan, door thudding shut. Vendors buzz. Lindy zooms in from across the street, capturing every second. Celine reviews floral arrangements at the hotel ballroom, thinking cameras will love the ivory backdrop. Her assistant bursts in, waving a phone. Viral clip, Baraka gifting the wristband. Caption screams, Telecom Tycoon meets Mud Girl. Celine's lips part. Flowers tremble in her grip. Petals scatter on marble. She dials Baraka. It rings 4 times, then voicemail. Evening rush hour locks streets. Lindy races to her edit suite, heart pounding, overlays headline fonts. Upload bar crawls, she drums fingers on desk. At Sifa's stir, Amali stares at the new bracelet under lamplight. Gogo studies her face, silently washes dishes. Rain drums on the roof. Baraka stands on his hotel balcony overlooking harbor lights. Phone buzzing nonstop. He ignores calls, watches container ships glide through dark water. Across town, Celine enters her office alone. She opens the envelope with the resignation letter, adds her own shaky signature beside it, then shreds the document instead of filing it. Only security cameras witness. Midnight nears. Lindy's video hits 50,000 in an hour. Commenters speculate family connection, some digging old newspaper archives of a hospital fire 19 years ago. One user posts a side-by-side shot. Infant wrapped in blanket wearing identical wristband. Photo credit to Baraka's late wife's memorial page. Retweets fly. Baraka's driver knocks on the penthouse door, informs him of media vans circling the hotel. Baraka closes balcony doors, slides the DNA report into the room safe, spins the dial. Streetlights flicker in time with thunder rumbling inland. Amali lies awake on a thin mattress, bracelet still clasped, coin stacked on a stool. She listens to each roll of thunder, eyes never closing. At the logistics tower, power cuts for 3 seconds. Emergency lights kick on, painting corridors in sterile blue. Celine stands by a window, city below streaked with taillight rivers. Her reflection stares back. Cobalt scarf now askew, eyes ringed dark. Sirens wail somewhere distant, fade. She touches the glass, whispers a single word only the pain hears. Dawn still hours away, but momentum already shifts. Vendors share the side-by-side photo, school kids memorize the bead pattern. Hashtags fuse into a new one. Kaker found daughter. Baraka's phone finally lights with a message from an unknown number. Attached is a grainy screenshot of the baby photo in the market clip. Text below reads, "Looks like your search ends tomorrow." He turns off the screen without replying, sits on the edge of the bed, elbows on knees, waiting for morning. In the market, water overflows the pothole again, rippling under street lamps. A stray dog laps at the edge, mud swirling in lazy circles before sinking. A storm gust shatters a loose signboard, metal crashing to pavement, sparking against a live wire. The wire snakes towards stacked wooden crates, hissing. Floodlights sweep across the Seafront Convention Center, painting the harbor silver. Chauffeurs queue beside a crimson carpet, engines purring. News vans jostle for curb space, cables snaking like vines around their tires. Inside the atrium, ivory rose towers flank a shimmering stage. A string quartet glides through warm-up scales while servers polish flutes. Baraka Nwoko steps through glass doors in a charcoal suit, leather notebook tucked under his arm. Guests turn, whispering. Some raise phones for stealth shots. Baraka smiles politely, eyes scanning the crowd until they land on Amali near the entrance. Borrowed teal dress brushing her ankles. Gogo Sifa fusses with the hem, cane hooked over her arm. Baraka approaches. "You made it." Amali nods, fingers brushing the new wristband he gave. Gogo lifts her chin. "We eat first, talk later." Baraka gestures toward a reserved table close to the stage. Aides usher them through clusters of entrepreneurs, diplomats, and influencers in neon gowns. Across the hall, Celine Kafaru poses before a sponsor wall, cobalt scarf gleaming beneath flashbulbs. Toma John hovers, phone pressed to one ear, murmuring share prices to someone unseen. Celine completes the last photo, slips through a side curtain toward backstage monitors. LED screens loop corporate ads. Technicians test the livestream feed. Numbers already spike past 50,000 viewers. Lindy Dogo stands near the media pit, microphone ready, neon braids tied high. She checks her watch, eyes sparkling. A hush falls. The quartet fades out. House lights dim to a royal blue. An MC strides on stage, voice booming. "Welcome to the Future of Infrastructure Gala, celebrating the partnership of Kafaru Logistics and Zenith Telegrid." Applause rolls. Cameras swing to Baraka, then Celine joining him on stage steps. She grips his arm, smile fixed, but her heel catches a cable. Baraka steadies her. The crowd chuckles politely. MC continues. "In a moment, we'll hear from our visionary leaders." Backstage, two assistants lower a massive projection screen. Baraka whispers something to a technician who nods, fingers darting over a tablet. Front row, Amali fidgets. Gogo pats her hand. Vendors streamed on battered phones gather outside the center's public plaza, watching the live feed projected against a portable screen. The MC introduces Celine first. She glides to the podium, taps microphone. "Zulimba thrives on movement," she begins. "Tonight we pledge to expand that movement for every citizen." Polite claps. She gestures to a slide of new shipping routes. Stock ticker crawls at the bottom corner of the screen, red arrows inching down. Toma winces. Celine launches into corporate jargon about efficiencies and job creation. Mid-sentence, Baraka steps forward, places a hand lightly on her shoulder. "May I?" he asks. She freezes, then steps aside. Baraka faces the audience, adjusts the mic. "Thank you, Celine, thank you, esteemed guests." His gaze sweeps past tables, up to the balcony where young interns lean over rails. He breathes once. "Before we sign papers, I have personal news to share." A murmur ripples. Lindy lifts her phone, her livestream count spikes. Baraka signals the technician. The house lights cut. The massive screen flickers, then plays the mud splash clip in full resolution. Gasps erupt. The insult echoes across speakers. Mud hangs midair larger than life. Celine's face on screen twists into arch contempt. In real time, color drains from her cheeks. Baraka steps aside, letting the footage loop twice. On the third run, the video freezes on Amali's dripping wristband. Spotlight swings to Amali at her table. Baraka speaks again, voice steady, amplified. 19 years ago, my infant daughter was lost during a hospital catastrophe. I have searched every year. 2 days ago, I found her. The screen changes to the grainy baby photos side by side with a high-resolution still of Amali at the stall, beads glowing. Silence thick as wet cement. "Allow me to introduce my daughter, Amale Zuri Nwoko." Applause starts uncertain, then swells. Amali rises, knees wobbling. Vendors outside erupt in cheers, audible through open doors. Celine tries to speak, but microphone squeals, cutting her off. She taps it, stammers, then backs away. Baraka continues. The path forward for Zenith involves empowering the very streets that raised her. Tonight, instead of a merger celebration, we launched the Zuri Vendor Fund, starting with 50 million shillings. Crowd roars, cameras flash. Stock ticker freezes, then plummets as traders dump Kafaru Logistics shares from mobile apps. Toma mouths, "Told you," then slips out a side exit, dialing frantic numbers. Celine grips the podium. "Baraka, we planned." He holds up a palm. Tonight is about making wrongs right. He turns to Amale, extends both arms. Flashbulbs explode. Lindy's livestream chat scrolls at warp speed. "Holy wow, Mudgirl is heir? Cancel the wedding?" Outside, protesters flip signs to read "Thank you, Baraka." Some drop mud-filled balloons, stomp them in celebration. Back in the hall, the MC scrambles for composure. "Ladies and gentlemen, refreshments will be served." But no one moves. A senator leans towards a banker, whispers of insider fallout. An influencer cries on camera, mascara bleeding. Celine steps forward again, eyes darting. The vendor fund is admirable, but the merger still benefits communities. Baraka doesn't answer. He escorts Amali toward the stage stairs. Gogo follows, cane tapping rhythm steady as a drumbeat. Stock crawl shows Kafaru down 12%. Up in the balcony, junior staff tweet resignations in real time. Investors text furious demands to the board. Celine turns, searching for Toma. Only empty space remains. She strides backstage, pushes through curtains, nearly collides with a lighting rig. Crew scatter. She pounds the green room door, finds it locked. Back in the ballroom, journalists shove microphones toward Amale. Gogo blocks, saying, "Give breathing room." Baraka guides them through a service corridor toward a quieter lounge. Security forms a bubble around. In the hall, champagne glasses shatter as a tray tips over. Guests dart aside, murmurs rising. A young analyst yells, "Stock halted!" Panic flares for a heartbeat, then transforms into gleeful gossip. Near the entrance, Lindy signs off her stream, cheeks flushed. She pockets her phone, spots Celine slipping out a fire exit. Instinct kicks. She follows. Outside, Seabreeze whips Celine's scarf loose. She yanks open the back door of her black sedan, slides in, slams it. Engine coughs once, sputters, then dies. Driver tries again. Nothing. Lindy records from 10 paces away, breath-fogging camera lens. "Fam, her ride just quit like the shares." Celine exits, slams door, heel snapping in half on the curb. She stumbles, steadies against the car, yanks off both shoes, hurls them into the harbor. Headlights illuminate swarming photographers sprinting toward her. Flash guns pop like small explosions. She bolts along the pier barefoot, scarf streaming, crowd in pursuit. Back inside, Baraka retrieves a small envelope from his jacket. He hands it to Amala. "Proof," he says. She unfolds the DNA report, eyes widening. Gogo's cane taps twice. Security nods, cameras hold back. Baraka turns to an aide. "Send official notices to both boards. Merger negotiations suspended." The aide runs off. At the pier, Celine reaches a locked gate. Crowd closes in, microphones thrust forward. She spins, eyes catching multiple lenses. A photographer shouts, "Any remorse, Mud Queen?" She opens her mouth. Sirens wail as Harbor Patrol swings a spotlight onto the scene. Back at the gala, a PA system crackles unexpectedly. Celine's earlier recorded speech for the livestream replay cues itself, voice booming through empty hall. "Together we move Zulimba forward," echoes over toppled champagne flutes and abandoned programs. Cables spark near the stage, a technician yanking plugs too late. Lights flicker, then blackout. An emergency generator fires, but only half the fixtures return. Shadows loom across ivory roses, petals discolored under harsh backup bulbs. Guests hurry to exits, feet crunching glass. One projector slips from its mount, smashes onto the floor, scattering plastic shards. In the side lounge, Baraka shuts the door against the noise. Amali clasps the report, bracelet resting atop. Outside that door, shoes scuff tile, someone approaches fast, breathing hard. The lounge door swings open. Toma John bursts in, suit rumpled, pen clenched like a cigarette. "Press outside wants confirmation," he says. "Wedding on or off?" Baraka straightens. "Off. Draft it." Toma nods once, ducks back into the corridor, voice already barking orders. Before dawn, newsroom Chiron scream, Baraka cancels merger, claims Mudgirl as ear. Live helicopter shots follow Celine's sedan racing from a law office to her headquarters, hazard lights blinking. Courthouse doors open at 9 sharp. Celine's lawyers file civil settlement papers. City attorney reads terms aloud on courthouse steps. Kafaru Logistics funds full pothole restoration and commits 400 hours of street sanitation by the CEO herself. Cameras tilt to Celine. She signs jaw set, then walks off without a word. An hour later, Baraka hosts a press meet in the plaza outside the market. He stands beside Amali and Gogo, flanked by rows of vendors in bright aprons. "We launched the Zuri vendor fund today," Baraka announces. "First job, fix that crater behind us." Bulldozers roll forward, cheers rising. Workers shovel cracked asphalt. Amali hands out bottled water, wristband glinting under harsh sun. Across the street, a rival vlogger streams. Views cross 200,000 before lunchtime. Sponsors email within minutes, offering crates of cooking oil and branded umbrellas. Inside Kafaru Logistics Tower, half the board resigns. Stock stalls, trading halted at minus 19%. Screens across the trading floor flash crimson. Celine retreats to her executive washroom, replaces limp scarf with a fresh one, pins hair tight, and walks to the lobby. Waiting reporters fire questions. She lifts a neon green reflective vest, slips it over her pristine blouse. "Community service starts now," she says, stepping into the daylight. A branded film crew hustles after her, boom mics hovering. Online chatter-ups, staged, cringe, too little too late. First assignment lands her at the very pothole now half filled with tar. She grabs a shovel, photos snapping. Shovel bites asphalt. Her manicured hands steady the handle. Muscles straining beneath silk sleeves. Brown sludge still puddles at the edge. Celine's heel skids spatters her trousers. The crowd laughs, phones held high. Amala pushes closer, offering a towel. Celine wipes mud slowly, eyes flicking toward lenses, forcing a thin smile. By evening, newly poured tar cools under soft lamplight. Vendors return to stalls. Amali sets up a folding table with crisp packaging labeled Zuri snacks. First sale goes to a taxi driver who toots twice and pulls off grinning. Gogo counts coins, slips them into a fresh spice tin. She glances at the repaired road, whispers, "Mud may splash, but ground still holds." 2 streets away, Celine scrubs graffiti off a bus shelter. Prism lights from passing cars spray color over her reflective vest. Lindy Dogo appears, phone already live. "Fam, look who's on cleanup duty," she says. Thousands join the stream, hearts floating up the screen. Celine ignores her, dipping sponge into bucket. Foam drips mixing with grit. Lindy zooms on reddened knuckles. Comments flood, karma, respect, fake. Midnight approaches. Workers pack tools, leave street hushed except for distant club beats. Celine kneels alone, chipping dried cement from the curb. Cameras finally gone. Footsteps echo. Amali rounds the corner carrying a tray of unsold chips. She stops beside Celine, offers the tray. "Hungry?" Celine looks up, sweat tracing her cheek. She takes one chip, crunches. Salt flakes cling to her lip. She swallows, voice low. "Good. Better than I deserved." Amali shrugs. "Road's smooth now. Keep it that way." She turns to leave. Celine calls after her, but words die in the night wind. Next morning, a magistrate signs final approval of the settlement. Municipal trucks loaded with fresh asphalt rumble across the city. Each repaired patch bears a small metal plate stamped Zuri Fund. Walk safe. Crowds post selfies with the plaques. Hashtag WalkSafeTrends for 48 hours. University Enrollment Office receives a completed application. Amala Zuri Nwoko, Business and Supply Chain Evening Program. Baraka signs the guarantor line, slips the form into priority mail. Inside Sifa's Stir, new laminated menus list a mud splash special. Extra crispy chips with ginger dip. Tourists queue for selfies with Gogo, who pretends to scold them while raising prices 50%. 3 weeks pass. Celine marks attendance sheets for her service hours. 79 done, 321 to go. She no longer brings a film crew. Sponsors pulled plug after analytics tanked. She scrubs another bus stop, this one near a school. Kids giggle, point. One boy tosses his juice box into her bin. She nods thanks, keeps working. Across the road, Toma watches from a taxi window. He jots a note, murmurs, "Lesson logged." At dusk, Amali finishes college orientation, shoulders backpack, hustles toward the market. Drizzle cools humid air. Freshly paved street glistens black, potholes now memory. She spots Celine crouched at the next corner, painting curb edges yellow. Amali walks over, hands her a bottled water. Celine accepts, twists cap, drinks half. She stands, wipes mouth, flicks eyes to the pavement. Still more to fix, she says. Start with that line, Amale replies, pointing to a faint crack forming. Both women kneel, smoothing wet tar, silent except for distant thunder. Lindy films from afar, muting audio. She records 10 seconds, titles it Mud Empress meets Chip Queen. Truce? Upload hits feeds in minutes. Comment pour, réconciliation, optics, plot twist. Debate reignites. That night, Baraka hosts the first vendor fund workshop in a converted warehouse. 50 hawkers learn bookkeeping on donated tablets. Amali demonstrates bulk buying math. She pauses, scanning faces of peers once skeptical, now scribbling notes. Harbor wind rattles the tin roof. Baraka announces micro-grant applications open at sunrise. Cheers bounce off brick walls. A courier bursts in, hands Baraka an envelope stamped High Court. He tears it open. Celine's legal seal. Inside, a single sheet. Official withdrawal from all joint holdings. No contest. Baraka pockets the letter, exhales, returns to the podium. Outside, city lights flicker during a power dip. Generators kick in. Street lamps hum, revealing brand new asphalt stretching unbroken past the depot. A lone cat crosses, tail high, footprints clean. Next dawn, Celine completes a graveyard shift cleaning the central roundabout. She leans on her shovel, watches sunrise stain the skyline. Busloads of commuters glide smoothly over her freshly painted lines. She sits on curb, removes vest, folds it, hands trembling. A passing vendor cart offers coffee. She pays full price, no haggling. At the market gate, Amale opens her stall late, balancing morning class schedule with business. She hangs a small sign, teaching till noon, back with chips at 2. Customers nod, snapping pictures of the sign. Noon comes. Amale returns, finds reporters waiting. She waves them off, eyes the repaired pothole shining under midday sun. She sets her tray exactly where the crater once gaped, plants feet firm. Coins jingle, first sale lands, wind shifts carrying scent of fresh tar mixed with hot oil. Down the street, Celine appears in plain denim and sneakers, no scarf. She drags a wheeled bin toward overflowing trash near the taxi rank. A taxi splashes through a shallow puddle, spraying both women. Water dark but clean, no mud. Amali laughs, wipes her arm. Celine laughs too, almost surprised at the sound. Lindy catches the moment on camera from a rooftop. She whispers to her lens, "In Zulimba, karma rides quick, but sometimes it hands out towels instead of thunder." Clip uploads. Views surge again. Hours later, thunderstorms gather inland. City app issues flood warning. Workers rush to clear drains. Celine finishes her shift, steps back to inspect a patch of asphalt. A rumble shakes the ground. The newly sealed surface buckles slightly, water gurgling upward. Spectators gasp. Celine and Amali lock eyes. The crack widens, hiss of escaping air.